Good morning, beloveds. Uh, I have been released from all my restrictions for my eye. It's healing very, very well. So now I just got to wait out the month and let my brain get used to it. So, and learn some things. Like when I have a sunbeam, I don't need my reading glasses. Okay, then. So there's a little bit of a sunbeam. So we're going to see if I can do this without reading glasses again. All right. So it is September 24th. Our title is The Need for Right Self-Expression. The first quote is, "If ye shall ask anything in my name, I will do it." And that is John 14:14. The second quote is, "God goes forth anew into creation whenever anyone discovers a new truth or increases knowledge about an old one." And that is Science of Mind, page 482. The third one, because this is Craig Carter, is self-expression is not selfishness. Selfishness means seeking out our individual good at the expense of others. And that is Good for You, page 40. There is a difference between an enlightened self-interest and a neurotic self-concern. The former can be the path to mental and spiritual growth through a continuing search for the truth about oneself. But a self-concern which seeks only to put oneself forward, to bask in the limelight of ego, to promote one's desires with little regard for the needs or concerns of others, represents an unhealthy state of mind. There is nothing selfish about wanting health, wealth, and happiness. The Science of Mind teaches that these are the natural expression of each person's divine inheritance and are everyone's natural right. This philosophy also teaches that God lives in all people and that each of us should welcome the outward expression of that indwelling light. We see it in others and we see it in ourselves. A healthy ego does not depreciate its... Wait, okay, hang on. Let me try again. A healthy ego does not deprecate itself out of false humility, nor does it criticize the natural self-expression of others. But neither does a healthy ego put its own interests ahead of all else. In giving spirit expression in ourselves, we are allowing our higher self to guide us. We can be sure that our own worthy desires will be fulfilled. We can also be certain that what is good for us will not conflict with the good of others. I know that there is good for me and I deserve to have it. It comes to me now along the path of divine right action. I accept health as my heritage. Creative life energizes and maintains every part of my body. The money I need comes to me in a steady, natural flow, and when there is a need for more, a channel will present itself. I accept the material good that is rightfully mine. And that, like I said, that's CC, Craig Carter. And that really is it. The difference between, now he called it enlightened self-interest and self-concern. And Science of Mind teaches that the ego has a place. The ego has a job. The ego is there to keep you alive. That is its job. But the ego should never drive, because the ego is naturally selfish. Your ego's job is to look out for you. And so what you want to do is, when the ego is jumping up at you, is you acknowledge the ego and say, all right, I understand. I hear you. I accept your information, and now I'm going to make a good decision. The ego absolutely has a job, but we can't let it drive from the passenger seat or the back seat. When we are trying to, and that's one of the reasons why I say, if the only good the action does is for one person, as long as it doesn't harm anybody, that is okay. That is absolutely okay. But if an action, that's where we wait. That's where we wait. It's like, if the more people it can benefit, that's great, as long as it doesn't harm anybody. Even if it only benefits one person, as long as it doesn't harm anybody. And that's the difference between selfishness and self-care. It's like, you got to take care of yourself, and that's why we talk about the divine no. That's why we say no is a complete sentence. There are times when you are just going to have to straight up say no. No. Yes, it may benefit you, but if it's at the detriment of myself, no. If it's at the detriment of somebody else, No, you know? Um, and so, but he talks about self-expression. And that's one of the things that I love about Science of Mind. Is when you meet Science of Mind ministers. There's a minister, and I can't think of her name right now. I want to say it's Abby, Reverend Abby, whose hair, when I met her, was turquoise. And I'm like, self-expression. These are your Science of Mind ministers, you know? Her hair is turquoise. If you've met Reverend David Bruner, he's got all kinds of tattoos and runs around in high top tennis shoes. As do I, but we won't talk about that. So, you know, and it's like, if you meet me, I'm generally in jeans and a t-shirt. It's self-expression. And one day I couldn't. And so I showed up in shorts. And I said, if you don't want me on platform looking like this. And Jesse said, it's not about what you look like. It's about where your heart is. And I was like, this is Science of Mind. Self-expression is one of the greatest gifts that we can give ourselves and we can give each other. We might look around at people and go, well, I wouldn't make that choice for me, but hey, you do you. You do you. And that's the attitude. It's like, I don't have to choose that for me because it's your expression. And I'm not going to make you feel bad and wrong about the way you choose to express. That's not my job. You know, judgment in that form is not my job. Discernment about myself, that's my job. So it's like, let me stay in my lane here. You express the way you want to. As long as it is making you happy and it is not harming you or anybody else, then you do you. I'm excited for you. And that is one of the reasons why we are LGBTQ friendly, why we support our transgender, you know, people, why we support our non-binary people. It's like, it's your self-expression. Go for it. Your self-expression is not harming me. The wild colors of your hair, what you choose to wear, it doesn't hurt me. You know? So why am I going to give you a hard time about it? I'm not going to. I'm going to cheer your your willingness and ability to be who you are, you know, and that's where we are. That's where we are. That is the need, and that's why I like that he titled it the need for self-expression, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to express the divineness in us, you know. Absolutely. And so health, wealth, happiness, that is all meant for us. There's a natural flow to it. And we can get in our way and other people can get in our way, you know? And so when we find people that are in the way of our divine self-expression, we need to have that hard conversation with ourselves and maybe that hard conversation with them and go, you know, this is who I am, and if you cannot accept me for who I am, maybe we don't need to be in each other's lives anymore. Maybe we can take a distance, take a deep breath, and see, you know, you got somebody cramping your style. And that's why we talk about family of choice. That's why we talk about family of choice. There's a meme that goes around occasionally, and I love it. And it's like, if your family doesn't support you, I'm your family now. Drink plenty of water, get plenty of sleep, and I love you. You know? And that's what the family of choice is. If your family doesn't support you, you will find a family that will. You will find, it's like, go find your tribe. It's like, let your freak flag fly. Let your weird light shine so that the other weirdos know where to find you. You'll find your tribe. And that's what I love about Science of Mind. Science of Mind is so encompassing and accepting. And one of my favorite things is we've never had to change rules to include people. You know, never had to change rules to include people. Everybody has always been welcome. Everybody has always been welcome. Now, you come in and you behave badly, we will ask you to leave. We'll still love you, but we're going to ask you to leave. So it's like, we're not going to tolerate we're not going to tolerate spiritual abuse, and that's why he makes the difference between enlightened self-interest and selfish self-concern is what he called it. Self-concern. When people put their needs ahead of everybody else's, that's a problem. There's enough for everybody, and that's exactly what Science of Mind teaches. So, let me see. My sunbeam is gone. I may have to put my glasses on. It's interesting when I get a bright light how it had the words snap into focus. So, okay. So here's the mission today. It's a continuing search for the truth about oneself. That is what self-expression can be. And so the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to continue on the path of self-discovery about ourselves so that we can continue to have that right self-expression, and we can support each other in that right self-expression. Absolutely. You do you. You do you. That's it. But the need for self-expression is real. And that's why I say, take that mission. Take the mission of continuing on that path of spiritual growth and discovering who you are at the center of your own being. Meet the source of your own being. And that will never lead you wrong. Okay? So, we have our mission. We know the difference between self-concern and self-expression. And we are going to let each other and ourselves be who we are. All right? And in doing that, we are going to practice the spiritual practice of doing something loving for ourselves, doing something kind for ourselves, doing something compassionate for ourselves. And honestly, one of the most loving, kind, compassionate things we can do for ourselves is let ourselves be who we are. Absolutely. Let ourselves be who we are. We were in the park today, and there was some kind of run going on in the park. There were also a number of little kid soccer games going on, but there was some kind of run for something. And so there were a bunch of teenagers holding signs, cheering everybody that went by, whether they had numbers or not. And I appreciated their enthusiasm. And that was one of those things. It's like, when you can do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, and for others. Because I wasn't in their race. They even said, are you running? No. Well, you're doing a great job anyway, And it did make me feel good. So these kids were out here, and they were kids. They were high school kids, with signs, saying, you got this. Keep going. One of my favorite songs was when your legs are tired of running, then run with your heart. It's like, that sign's on point. I love that sign. But they were in the park being loving, kind, and compassionate because it helps. I mean, every time I passed one of them, I perked up a little bit, and I was like, walked a little faster, and I was like, I'm not even running your race, but. And that's why I encourage you to practice on yourself. Be who you are. Have that self-expression. It is loving, kind, compassionate. And when you do that, you have spillover. Because that's what that was. I wasn't part of this race, but I got the spillover of this loving, kind, compassionate act that they were doing. So, it's pretty cool when you can be yourself, like these kids in the park. You can be yourself. It spills over. So practice the loving, kind, compassion on yourself, because it spills over in amazing ways, i.e. my experience in the park. So whatever it looks like today, and maybe it's go to the park and yell nice things at people, hold signs, you got this. You're almost there. So, all right. All the stuff about the habit and what have you. I'm just going to not beat that bush today. But I am going to remind you to do something to engage your mind and your body today. I think I walked almost 4 miles today. And it was good. It was good. It felt good. We'll see how I feel this afternoon. So do something to engage your mind and your body. Drink plenty of water. It is still, I know fall has started officially. The meteorological fall has started officially. We're tilting away from the sun. But it's still going to be 96 today. So drink plenty of water. And get that early in your day bright light. We were in the park just as the sun was coming up. So I'm hoping I got a couple of pretty cool sun pictures of that. And I need to get off this because my phone is chatting at me. Okay. So, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around you all the time. All right. Connect with the source of your own being and understand that heaven is a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. When you connect with the source of your own being, you fill up with that. You bring that back. You channel that into the material world around you. You create heaven on earth for yourself. That is the ultimate self-expression. And it is the ultimate superpower. And you have it. You do. Okay, you are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased, always and forever. So, take Emma's advice. Look for the good and praise it. So, it is Saturday. I have already had a great day. I have one more task ahead of me, and then I'm going to take some rest time and have a little bit of a catter day. So, have a great day, an amazing day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, a wonder-filled day, a get stuff done day, we're almost ready day, checking it over to make sure that we are as close as we can get today, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased and well represented always. It's a state of grace. All right, beloveds, I'm going to tell you, I forgot the social media stuff. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the Running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I'm on, so please feel free to check those out. Facebook changed the way it was doing, so my page got a little quiet, but I'm picking back up. Although I'm cross-posting these now, so if you're watching this on the Running Rev Ryan page, thank you. They're also on YouTube under the Running Rev Ryan. And if you want to know what's going on with the center, because there's always something going on there, email info@creativelife.org, and that will get you to the constant contact. Which will then, I just lost my train of thought, the constant contact, and the hot links are hot. So, Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you, although in the next couple of days, I know he's traveling because I think he's coming back on Monday. So watch out for him around 5 p.m. I will be back with you at 9 a.m. and then we'll have an amazing service for you at 11. So that is the good that I know. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. Know that you're loved, always.